Hey guys, welcome back. So this is kind of a continuation of the last video. I showed you my setup here, how I was getting everything ready to go out and do some tractor logging. Well, we're ready to go. Let's go hit the woods. We're en route to the woods. Actually, we're in the woods now. And I told you guys in the last video, my woods is pretty flat except for one hill to get in and out of it. Well, here it is. I don't know, the camera doesn't do a really good job of picking up hills, but this is pretty steep. So I'm hoping we don't go on a slip and slide when we take a loaded wagon down out of here, but I'll be sure to film that and we'll see what happens. So I got to go in here a little ways yet and get turned around and unhook the wagon. We made it. I mentioned in the last video, it was about 7 degrees in the morning when I set all this stuff up. I think we're in the teens now. I think it's about 15 right now, which is not really enjoyable, but it is nice. The ground is frozen, so it's the best time to do this. Now, I am certainly not the guy to preach safety to anybody, so I'm not going to go into a big long spiel, but chaps and a forestry helmet, I do recommend it. Probably hear the chainsaw started up. I got my dad here helping me today. That's always another good thing. It's always nice to have a second person with you in the woods, just for safety. Second set of eyes. Second set of hands. A lot of times though, he gets to have the fun and run the chainsaw. I end up running the tractor and pulling the stuff out. So let's go take a look, see what he's up to. Now, I had mentioned in another video over the summer, we took a walk through the woods here, and basically my goal here with this woods, I'm certainly not clear cutting. I'm not high grading. What I'm doing, I'm looking for timber for the future. So I'm taking out all the junky stuff, the twisty, turny, rotten, dead, firewood stuff. Trees that have no future of being any kind of timber. So by doing that, I'm thinning, I'm making space, I'm letting our nicest trees and seed stock grow. And that's how I'm kind of managing it. So I have this marked. I actually marked this section last year. I have it marked with 2 colors. Orange is going to be firewood that's got to come out. The blue is going to be saw logs that need to be moved for spacing, or they're doubles that need to be cut. But I can get something out of them on the mill. So my dad just dropped this piece of firewood. He's cutting it to length. I sell the firewood as log length. I don't do cut and split firewood. But we try to keep it like 8 and 12 foot. It's what we can handle here with our equipment, and it just makes it consistent. Makes it nicer for whoever buys it, that they can get even pieces of firewood out. They're not left with all kinds of oddball sizes. So he knows what he's doing. He's going to start whacking this stuff down, and I'm going to pull the tractor down here and we're going to start skidding it up. So this first stuff here, he dropped across one of our main roads, so I'm not even going to try to skid this. I'm just going to see if I can't scoop it up with the forks and just take it right up to the wagon. Grab that one. Let's keep going. a 12-foot road. A little tight. So there's a new complication here in the works. I found my camera freezes up at these temperatures, so I gotta keep sticking you guys in my coat to warm me up a little bit. Backing up to a log here. My dad just cut this red oak log. We're gonna get it hooked up and skid it to our pile. Harder than you think to do this one-handed. This one's actually going only about 50 feet here. So I pull them out, in this case to my saw log pile that we're just starting here. I gotta jump off and kick the tongs off. Sometimes easier said than done. And the way I'm working it, I just pile my saw logs up in a big pile here, separate them by species. Then I come in with my lumber truck and pick them with that. That's easier than trying to haul all this stuff out with the wagon. Firewood goes on the wagon, everything else goes out on the lumber truck. So that's there. I got another saw log to pick up here. Whenever I can, I'll just jump in here, grab that with the forks. It's easier than hooking and unhooking and skidding, but for the big stuff, the long stuff, I gotta use the skid attachment. So he's eyeing up his next one. He's taken down there. I'm gonna get this stuff cleaned up. I'll probably have to shove you back in my coat a little bit to warm up, and I'll bring you back for some action. So he's probably not gonna love that I'm showing you this, but my dad hung up a little white oak here. But honestly, it probably would have happened to anybody. So one of the reasons we're doing this is woods is just so dense. There's so much small, scraggly stuff in here. It's hard to drop these trees. They don't have enough mass in them, and they don't get going good enough because they get hung up with all the other tops. So it's just hung up there in the top of another tree. So we're just going to give her a little pull here and pull it off the base. The top should drop down. Chain up, I'll pick the end up. So let me give you a little better look explanation maybe of what we're doing here. You can see this is a triple. That's chestnut oak. And you can see this first one I have marked orange. That's going to be firewood. It's dead. You can see it's broken off there at the top. It might make a piece of firewood. As long as it's solid here on the bottom, we'll send it for firewood. The blue there, that one's a little bit bigger. It's still intact. It'll make a saw log. A very weak saw log, but I'm going to put it on the mill, get something out of it. And I'm going to leave this one to the left here. That's the straightest, the nicest, has the best chance of ever making anything. So by taking out those two bad ones, hopefully that one will thrive some. So we're going to get to that next. Before we can get there, take a walk with me here. Kind of working in order here so we don't have to fight the tops and stuff that we're dropping. We got this one here. Now that's standing dead. That's just taking up space. That's, if it's solid enough, going to be firewood. That might actually just get left here, because I don't even know if it'll make firewood. So I'm going to lock that one real quick. My dad's up filing his saw, so I'm going to get this down so we can keep moving here. So I'm walking back to get the tractor. It's so cold, the face shield on my helmet snapped. The little plastic piece that holds it together just snapped on me. Junk. I guess that's what I get for working in the cold. But I was actually just thinking of something. Remembered last year, a little story I'll tell you guys. So last year we were working here at this exact same spot, starting this section, and I had just put new tires on this tractor. I bought new tires, bought two 55-gallon drums of windshield washer fluid, and I put them on myself, and it was a fight. I wrestled them, but I got them on, and we hadn't run this thing about a week, and I'm pulling logs out here like we're doing, and all of a sudden I'm pulling a log out and I see something kind of flash by my peripheral on the tire. I thought, what was that? I stopped. Here, there's an old pitchfork laying here in the woods, and the prong of the pitchfork stuck into the sidewall of the tire and was going around with the tire. Well, you can imagine, after all the money I sunk into these new tires, a week later and got a pitchfork stuck in them, by some dumb luck it went in on about a 45-degree angle, didn't go through all the tire all the way, didn't go into the tube, poke it. I would have been a mess. I would have lost all my windshield washer fluid, would have had to put a new tube in. So you just never know what you're going to come up, you know, what's going to happen when you're working in the woods like this. You wouldn't expect something like that to happen, but I guess you should always expect the unexpected. Or maybe it's just my luck. It seems like if dumb things can happen, they happen to me. So I just thought of that as I was walking out of the spot there where that happened. I thought I'd share that with you. So I figured this next one we're taking down is going to be another good example to show you guys kind of what I'm shooting for here. So you can see these two red oaks here. This one on the right is beautiful, nice, straight, has a nice crown to it, real nice tree. The one on the left, not so much. It's got that big hook at the top, it's leaning. If you can see up there, there's some woodpecker damage, which tells me that top is probably rotten out. It's just not a healthy tree. So they're about 8 feet apart there. So we're going to take that one on the left to get rid of that. It's going to give this one more room. The crowns aren't going to be touching. It'll have more room for that crown to fill in up there. And hopefully this tree will thrive and become a very, very nice red oak in the future. I've mentioned this in the past. This project is really more probably for my kids than myself. Anytime you're managing timber, it's a long-term proposition, but trying to do what's best for the land. So we're going to whack this one on the left here. So you can see that is a little bit rotten up the center. Hopefully be able to get something off the outside of it. Being that it's so curved, we're gonna have to cut it into short 8-foot logs. But anytime you see woodpecker holes like this in a tree, that's a bad sign. That's somehow the woodpeckers know. They're a telltale sign that that tree is rotten, it's on its way out. So we're gonna get this one cut up, skid out, keep on moving here. So we got a load on, guys. Probably too much of a load, really. I don't know how much it weighs, but I can tell you it's a lot more than that tractor weighs. So I got one more challenge, and that's gonna be to get it out of here and down that steep hill I showed you in the beginning. But we're headed for lunch. I'm probably not bringing the camera out after lunch, to be totally honest with you. It's been a battle here trying to get you guys some footage. I have to keep it warm or it wants to freeze up right away in these, crazy low temperatures. So I will have you back out here at some point for sure. Show you more of what I got going on here. I think I gave you a pretty good idea. You know, we're getting rid of our junk, trying to keep our nicest stuff, just trying to do the right thing for the forest here. So I'm going to put you right up on top of those forks there. You're going to have a bird's eye view going down that hill. We're going to see if we can keep it in a straight line. Well, we made it down the hill and it didn't even so much as push. I am continuously impressed by what this little Kubota will push and pull. I thought for sure that was going to get a little loose on the back end, but she did well. So I'm headed to warm up and grab some lunch. I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.